Hello everybody, Mr. West here. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try and speak to all students and parents who are interested to directly via video. I'm going to upload this onto YouTube, so hopefully you'll be able to access it. And we'll try and do something on a weekly basis. That way we can stay in touch with you as a school. So I'm just going to go through the week really. Obviously the school is moving into a different phase now. We are providing care and support for pupils whose parents are critical workers, and we've had a number of students in during the week, and it's been great to have you in the school. But as they'll tell you, probably the rest of you anyway, is that things have slightly changed as the week has progressed. So what's happened is that Templemore has closed for the time being, and that students that we look after now are actually attending Whitkirk Primary. And the reason we did that was because numbers were so low that it didn't merit us keeping the building open. So what we've actually done is we've actually pulled together all the other primary schools and put them into one building, which is Whitkirk. So we now share the school with Orsthorpe, with Colton, with Temple Newsam Primary, and obviously with the students or pupils at Whitkirk. So staff have been attending there along with some of our students, and we'll be taking part in activities as normal, sport, IT, bit of music, all sorts really. And it's been great to have them in the building during the week. The rest of you, hopefully, all been staying at home and being safe, which is obviously the guidance that's been coming through from the government, which is very difficult for lots of us, including myself, to stay inside and self-isolate and keep our distance from our friends and family and our loved ones. Hopefully been trying to make the most of this situation as best you can, and you've been using social media, engaging with class charts and the work that's been set for you by the school, and obviously spending time with your family and doing other things that are of interest to you. And that's important because things aren't normal at the minute. We're fast approaching Easter, and I guess it's really important to kind of remind ourselves that Easter is our time to have a break, and we should still have a break, even though I guess some people will still be anxious and they want to keep a normal routine and try and keep up to date with their work, particularly those students that will be coming back to us in September. But you've got to balance that with that kind of sense that Easter is a break. You do need to recharge your batteries, and you can come back to your studies. So just balance things as best you possibly can, which I'm sure you are doing as you adjust to the new way of life for the time being. Hopefully not for too much longer. So just going to give you some tips really in terms of looking after yourself at home. I'll just talk about work because I have to, and then we'll talk about other things that you can actually do with your time to make the most of it. So the first thing is just some tips around keeping a regular routine really. I talked to you all, or most of you, in assemblies before we broke up the other week, and we talked around trying to keep to your timetable as best you possibly can. It's a good way of kind of organising your day. It's difficult, I get it, at home to try and work for 5 or 6 hours at a time, but just try and keep to that. So if you've got maths or English first thing on a Monday morning, do a little bit of maths and English. Geography period 3 on a Wednesday, do it then. Try and break your week up and keep some kind of normal balance there. But bear in mind that obviously we are working from home, so we don't have our teachers to help us, and we don't have each other to help us to motivate ourselves. Also, try and keep to the routine of the school. So obviously we have our break at 10 to 11, so have a break then. Get out and do something else in the garden if you've got a garden, or just give yourself a bit of breathing space in another room, or read a book, or play a video game, or get on social media, or whatever it is that you want to do. So give yourself that mental break. But really, the important thing for us is that when we have our breaks at school, that's our time to kind of interact with each other. And it's really important that you use social media in its best way, really, and staying in touch with your friends. And I'm sure you are doing that. And I obviously would encourage you to continue to do that. The important thing is really to communicate with as many people as possible, because that's the thing. As social creatures, as we all are, we have to have that sense of being with each other, and being in a school is that real sense of community. We kind of miss that. So you explore those different options that you've got available to you, whether it be Zoom or House Party app or Facebook Messenger or Facebook video, as I found last night, and keep to that routine and stick to people and talk to people. And if you want, work with them online if you can, and try and keep your small groups as you're doing your classes and trying to share your work across class charts and using these different forms of social media. So that's just some tips for working through the day. Some other ideas I've got that have come through, and I'm sure you're aware of these, but I'll just give you a reminder of those that don't know, is trying to keep some interest outside of your normal studies that we've obviously got on class charts for you. So there's lots of celebrities that are posting work online or areas of interest, so it might be worth you exploring. So Carol Vorderman's got a online maths resource that's for students. This is probably for younger age groups, but have a look at that if you can find that. That's the former Countdown presenter. David Williams, the children's author, he has free audio stories every day for the next 30 days. So if you can try and look for that, that's David Williams. Dan Snow, the history guy, he has free access to the history documentary channel for the next 30 days. So have a look at that. That's called History Hit. Brian Cox, the particle physicist and TV personality, he has lots of things coming up in the next few weeks. So if you have a look for Brian Cox online and see what he's got coming up, he's got a question and answer session for Comic Shambles Network Stay at Home Festival. See if you can find that in Google. Steve Batchall, the broadcaster and author, is running a wildlife chat on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube on Wednesday nights. Joe Wicks, I'm sure you've done that. I've done that with my two kids in the morning. We did Joe Wicks every day this week. He's doing PE lessons. My two can only manage it 15 minutes, but then we do cosmic yoga after that 15 more minutes. So if you like that kind of thing, that's on every day. Cosmic Yoga's on YouTube, so have a look at that. Mylene Class, the classical musician, radio presenter, she's offering free music lessons as part of her class timetable. That's KLASS for children stuck at home, so have a look at that. Jamie Oliver, everybody's favourite, the chef, is hosting a nightly cooking show on Channel 4 to help families plan their meals. Worth having a look at that. Theo Michaels, a former MasterChef star, he's streaming live cooking classes on Instagram on his YouTube channel. And Dame Darcy Bussell, my favourite, I have to say, the former Strictly judge, she's got an organisation called DD Mix for schools, and she's hosting 10-minute shake-up dance on Facebook Live every day this week. So have a look at those if you've got a chance. Just some other things to kind of address people's anxieties. I know that we've got a lot of messages through from Year 11 and Year 13 students worried about their examinations and predictions. So just to talk those through. Just to be clear, and obviously you can share this with your parents, we can't share the predictions with you at this point in time. I'll tell you why. What's happening is that staff are working through the predictions, and that's quite a long process, and they have to be entered to the examination boards by the 30th of April. At that point, the examination boards will collate all the information from across the various data sets across the country, and they have to do what's called a scaling exercise. That scaling exercise compares your mark that's been set by the teacher against your key stage 2 scores if you're in Year 11, or if you're in Year 13, against your GCSE score. And then they're going to work out a profile compared to previous year's outcomes. So it's going to be a normal year as best possible. When that's been adjusted, then obviously they will be released. So they won't be released until the end of July or probably the early August. As soon as they are released, also make sure that you can have access to those. The reason we can't send them out there is because it's highly likely if we give you a grade now, it's going to be adjusted, and so there'll be some disappointment for some and there'll be some excitement for others. So I want to make sure that we go through that process properly, and that's the reason why we can't send them out, because they have to be, as I say, moderated by the exam boards. Schools that obviously have presented information and have any kind of strange scores in there will be investigated. So we've got to make sure we do all that properly, and once we've done that process, or completed that process should I say, then we can release it to yourself and your family. So please be patient with us with that one. The other thing I want to talk about is the picture up here. Now, if anybody can tell me what that is, I have a reward for you. So if you know where that picture was taken, you can identify the area. Let's see if you can see a little bit more of it. There's a bit more of it. If you can identify that picture, and if you can inform me via class charts when you're feeding back to your teachers, I'll make sure you get a prize for that. And we'll try and do that every week with various different parts of my house. Okay. Right, what's the next thing? Anybody got Disney Plus? Yeah, I've had to get Disney Plus as well, so enjoy that as well. I think that's pretty much it for now. Obviously, we're going to try and keep this going on a weekly basis. I'll put it on YouTube. If students like it, that's fantastic. There won't be comments, I'm afraid. You won't be able to comment on anything. Please do that through class charts. That way, it doesn't get open to abuse, and then I have to pull it all down. We have to start again because of some individuals who don't want to take this opportunity of us trying to stay in touch with you at school, at home, between us and the school. So what we'll do is you won't have to see my face every week. Hopefully, you'll get the chance to speak to or listen to other members of staff. So I'm hoping they'll come and help me at some point. And that's pretty much it for the week. And I'll try and speak to you next week. So all I can say is try and stay safe and make sure you get some exercise and enjoy the weather while it lasts. Hopefully it'll last into the next week. And let's hope this all gets sorted out very quickly and we're back to school as normal. All the best to you and your families, and I wish you the very best. Bye bye for now.